Hi guys, Riot Ponytail here. You must have caught me coming out of the shower, putting my food on the stove, and accidentally turning on my video, which is a problem we all face in a modern society. So, what I'm gonna do now is go over some of the more controversial patch notes that we've had today. I want to address player concerns over them. Okay? Now, the first thing up here is Aatrox. A lot of people are concerned that this Aatrox change isn't fixing what needs to be fixed, okay? People say, okay, Bramblevest is making my champion worthless. You changed him into a high attack speed, low damage champion that heals per auto attack. Then you made an item that punishes high attack speed, low damage healing champions, okay? And we hear you. Aatrox is totally countered by Bramblevest. It's very difficult to just get him out of the laning phase anymore. Okay? When we nerfed the damage component in his W, it made it so that full damage Aatrox builds that try to avoid the healing no longer are viable. Okay? By avoiding buffing anything about him, we have fixed this issue entirely. To fix Bramblevest, we have made Aatrox gain more range on his ultimate. Now let's move on. Move on. Don't dwell on it. Move on. We have nerfed Janna. Don't look at the numbers. She's got like 20 less health, and she's gonna die like instantly now. We gave her more auto attack range or something. I don't really read the patch notes anymore. I'm gonna be honest. My job is mostly just making up bullshit to justify stupid changes. Talking about that, let's look at Malphite, okay? Now, people say tanks are very low counterplay. They don't like it when tanks have buttons that just kind of drastically increase their stats, okay? We didn't like Maokai's ultimate. You pressed a button and you just took substantially less damage. It was very difficult to balance, okay? Malphite, the pinnacle, though, of counterplay. Malphite is one of the most counterplayable tanks in the game. What with such amazing counterplay techniques as flash his ultimate, don't get hit by his ultimate, and, anyways, what we're doing, to give him more counterplay, and to make tanks less frustrating to fight against, he's going to be able to gain 90% armor by pressing a button. Anyway, moving on. Don't dwell on topics, okay? This is Riot Games. We make good decisions here. Orianna, following our principles of always giving compensation buffs to champions we're trying to nerf so that they never actually leave viability, but it feels like we're doing something about it, which is what we talked about last week. Okay? Orianna is getting a compensation buff to her Q, but we're going to act like it's a nerf. Feels 3 patch notes. You feel like we're doing something. Okay. Ornn. People are complaining. They say Ornn is useless after the laning phase. All he has going for him is his high base damage in the laning phase. His Q damage doesn't scale well enough. His E damage doesn't scale well enough. His W damage being current health instead of maximum health means that especially as you get later in the game, his damage has to fall off substantially. We hear you. Ornn is bad after the laning phase. So what we're doing is buffing his laning phase. We feel this will solve the issue forever. 45% win rate? Gone. 50% win rate? Here we go. Okay. A lot of people are complaining about Vayne. They say she's a feast or famine champion. She either snowballs and wins, or she falls behind way too hard. People say, wow, this champion is not terribly useful even in a balanced game. That she needs to win, or she just kind of can't be in a fair and balanced game. Okay, she needs to win hard early and snowball to victory. Now, to fix this, what we're doing is nerfing her late game and making her snowball harder. And this will fix the issue forever. Expect no more Vayne balance nodes. She's fixed with this change forever. Now, a lot of people are saying Veigar doesn't have enough strength because there's so much counterplay to his champion. There's so much counterplay to Veigar, okay, that he cannot be played. We hear you. much like Malphite, we feel that Vigor is a champion who is hindered by the amount of counterplay to him. So we're giving him a buff without adjusting how much counterplay he has because he's so balanced with his counterplay and so fun to fight. That's really what we feel. It is fun to fight Vigor. Okay, now I'm going to go into a next topic here. This one is a bit complicated. Okay, remember last week how we couldn't balance a game because of Worlds? Remember we talked about that. Used it as an excuse to not have to do our job. This is coming full dead center right here. Ardent Sensor can't be nerfed fully because of Worlds. Have to give it that compensation buff. But hey, we removed the healing because, like, it's not Warlords being the problem. No, Warlords was not the problem. It was a 25 health on Ardent Sensor. And now that we removed that 25 health, we've given it more damage and attack speed. We are not seeing the irony at all that 80 carries are just building 3 damage items in a row with no lifesteal, then using the crit and damage scaling to make Warlords heal them constantly for 400 health. We don't see the irony at all that letting an item scale up your Warlords to proc faster and faster, especially as it heals more and more into the late game, maybe was a bad decision, okay? Maybe we are completely oblivious to the fact that 80 carries being able to scale up a keystone isn't a good idea. Anyway, let's talk about Bramblevest. Now, see, the issue with I'm running out of time! No! We'll talk about Bramblevest later! We're definitely going to fix all the issues with it later, but we don't have time to talk about it right now. I'm going to be back next week!